Let's have some real talk today. We're going to talk about a topic that, a lot of people think is a taboo topic, especially within certain circles, especially within certain genders, really, I feel. Depression. Because depression is a very real thing. I'm not talking about the glamorized depression, the person takes to Twitter, I'm so depressed, look at me. I'm not talking about that. Whether that person is actually dealing with that, it's hard to say. I'm talking about the person who struggles to get out of bed every morning. Not a physical thing, but a mental thing. A person who lays in bed for 16, 17 hours in a day. A person who alienates themselves because they feel that they're a broken toy. They're not good enough. They're not capable of facing the world. That sort of depression. There's different levels to it, just like anything in life. Now, I know you're looking at me and saying, well, who the hell are you to talk about this? What do you know about depression? I only let you know what I want to let you know about me, because I'm a video gaming channel. I actually thought about making this on the secondary channel, but I decided, you know what? With it being the holiday season, with people being stressed beyond belief about so many different things in the real world, it's time for me to let you in on a little secret. I've been on antidepressants since I was 16 years old. And if you know anything about depression, real depression, you know that it's a very fickle thing. Because I wouldn't say that I was necessarily unhappy during that time frame in my life when I first got put on there, but there was signs of depression, just a lot of anger issues, a lot of self-doubting that, my parents were concerned about. So I got put on antidepressants when I was 16. And if you know anything about antidepressants, the first 2 weeks of being put on them are hell. It is a mental battle that happens within your mind that you've never quite experienced anything like it. And because of that, one night I was drinking a bit at the house, figuring out, what I was going to do. I was going into my senior year of high school. Where am I going to college? What am I doing with my life? Where am I going? And everything just came to a head. And I decided I wanted a way out. I couldn't handle this. I couldn't face the world. I couldn't face what was looming on the horizon. My days of not caring, not worrying about anything were simply coming to a close. So that night, I actually took the whole bottle of the antidepressants all at once and washed them down with a 40 ounce. And that was going to be it for me. I was going to be done. There was a situation where my mother ended up being awoken by me, and I went to the ER. And I pretty much flatlined in the ER. They had to bring me back, this, that, and the other. Had to drink apple juice and charcoal and all this stuff. And, everyone in the room that was there, my father was out of town. My girlfriend at the time, her family were there. Everyone was covered in black soot because I had hit them with like an exorcist, sort of thing, when I threw up. And, yeah, it was a crazy night. It was something that is pretty much burned into my mind as something that, I was almost gone, and I didn't feel depressed. I didn't feel like I had depression, but I did. I had all the signs that were there. And like I said, I've been on this medication for 20 plus years now. So what's the point of me telling you this? What's the point of me opening myself up and making myself vulnerable to this whole sort of thing? Because there's going to be people in the comment section that'll make fun of me, that'll laugh at me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not doing this for that person. I'm doing this for the person that struggles to tell their friends, that struggles to tell their family that they're feeling a certain way, that they're having these negative thoughts that they can't control. Because it's a hell of a lot easier for someone to develop a dependency on a substance, develop a dependency on alcohol, than it is for somebody to come forward to their friends and family because they fear the scrutinization. It's accepted for somebody to develop an alcohol problem. It's accepted for somebody to develop a dependency problem. And then that person ends up passing away from those problems. I've seen it time and time again, whether we're talking about my family, my friends. I've seen people develop substance addictions because of depression, and they never told anyone. But in retrospect, you could see it. And that's okay. That's for some reason acceptable in society. But being honest with yourself, being honest with your friends and family, that's got a stigma attached to it. That's something you can't really do, especially if you're a man. I'm just gonna call a spade here. I feel like females have a much better support system than men do because men have this stigma about them. Bullshit. It's time to drop the stigmas. It's time to drop all that sort of stuff with it. If you're feeling a certain way, there's somebody who cares. It might not be who you want to care, but there's somebody who cares. You are important. You are a cog to the world. You have a role to fulfill in society. Your life might be bad. You might be going through something. There's 7 billion plus people in the world. There's at least one person who's in a worse situation than you are. And it's hard to come to terms with that. It's hard to fathom that, you know, because depression is such a son of a bitch. It makes you feel like you're the only one who feels this way. It makes you feel like you're a broken toy. There's something wrong with you. There's, you know, why are you laying in bed for 16 hours a day? Why don't you want to get out and face the world? You're a loser. You're a burden on society. You're this, that, or the other. It's not true. It's not true. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. Life is hard. When I was 16 years old on that night, I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea what I was doing. I took drugs at that time. I did things that I shouldn't have done. I wasn't preparing for my future like a lot of kids do, man. You know, some people, they've got their whole lives mapped out in front of them. They know exactly what they want to do. Most people don't. Most people have to figure it out. If you would have told 16-year-old RGT that in 20 years, I would be sitting where I am, doing what I'm doing, having the amount of success that I've had, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have said, no. What are you, the devil? You're trying to trick me? There's no way. I wouldn't have listened to you. Life is hard, man. Life is hard around the holidays as well. You feel like you're inadequate. You feel like you're not good enough. You haven't done enough in life. Don't feel that way. Because that voice telling you that is a fucking liar. They're a liar. Through and through. They're an absolute lying son of a bitch that you need to realize is BS. Talk to your friends if you're feeling these feelings. Talk to your family if you're feeling these feelings. If your friends and family don't understand it, or they mock you, or they make fun of you or something about that, fuck them. Because those aren't people you want to associate with anyways. Those are people that don't care about you at all. At all. If they can't understand it. If they can't sympathize, at the very least, sympathize with you and empathize with you and see what can I do to help you out? Because you are my brother. You are my sister. You are someone that I care about, and I want to see you succeed in life. I want to see you do the best as you can do. So I say all that to say this. Depression is real. Depressing feelings are real. There's levels to depression. But it's something that's real, and anyone who tells you otherwise is full of shit. Reach out to someone. Reach out. You know, I'll have a phone number in the description box down below where you can reach out and just talk to someone. Because a lot of times You really just need someone to talk to because your mind is so clouded. You don't know which direction you're going. You don't know what's a real thought and what is something that, you know, is just your symptom telling you that is going to happen. You expect the worst, but don't expect the worst, man. We got one shot at life. This is a one-time deal. There's millions of people who would give anything in an instant to have their one shot back because they did something in haste or they didn't appreciate the value of life. Reach out to someone. Reach out to your fellow person in the comments section of this video. Reach out to your friends, your family. If they don't ride with you on that, fuck them. You don't need that person in your life. That person will come around because eventually that person will get into a situation where they feel and they understand and they'll want to come back. Be the bigger person. Let them back in. Say, this is what I told you about. Stay strong. Life is hectic. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And keep fighting the fight, man. Everyone wants to be a fighter. That's the biggest fight in the world. Fighting negative feelings, depression, fighting these things that pop up in your mind. Fight them. Don't let that shit win. Reach out to someone. Get some help. Have a beautiful holiday season. We'll get back to the normal bullshit on this channel with the video games and stuff. I really don't know where this came from. It was just something that was just kind of weighing on my mind. So here we are. I hope you got something out of this video. I don't know what you got out of it, but I hope you got something. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.